Here I'm going to present on the topic of beginner, Magento to beginner to professional.
There is I in capital. S is the capital. So here the define class or is set for PHP data type declaration.
That's a defined class. And first you need to define the class for the query in that part, and then in that class you are defining the data that you are going to send. That data is declared in an array. That array is framed in the schema. So exactly how do you make it? Do you know the associative array? Yeah. SVU contains its value. A position, that's its value, and so on.
Yes.
And you need to declare exactly how you build it in schema. That's all.
Thank the organizer. Thank you.
Does that make sense? That's the way it is. That you have to build according to the schema you have built.
I love Magento. I'm working with Magento since 2011.
But I have also another question from this slide. But I just forgot, so no problem. Sir,
I believe that
Express is not allowed. So
No problem.
let us express our
Sorry
love
for
for
the
Magento.
interruption.
So
Don't worry.
give
I
a
respect
high
the
five
time.
to the person sitting on your left and right and say them, I love Magento. Yes, I love Magento. Great. And we also
okay, so as we all love Magento, we need to support the community, like Vatsal sir said. So you can join Page OS, which is the Magento community, and it is just the €10 per year. So as a Magento community member, you can contribute more to the community. So definitely, I would request all of you to join the community. You can search on Google Page OS and then you can join it. So now, let's come to the main topic, Magento to beginner to professional. So beginner to professional in a real sense. So let's dive deeper.
And so the first question is, who is a beginner Magento developer? According to us. So according to me, I would say a person or a developer who knows PHP, JavaScript, MySQL and Magento basics is a beginner Magento developer, because it is the basic requirement, right? That's what you need to start working with Magento. But that alone doesn't make you a professional developer. So as a metaphor, I have prepared this video to explain what kind of developer is a beginner. So he knows the basics, but he just plays the keyboard with just one finger. So it is a sequential process. But we need something more to become a professional. So who is a real professional developer? Right? We have a question. So from now onwards, this is very important. So tell the person that focus. Person on your left and right, tell him to focus, because this is now very important. To become a professional developer, what is your number one job? So the number one job to become a professional, to start becoming a professional developer, is getting the certification, right? Adobe Commerce Developer Professional Certification is a beginner certification. If you don't have any certification, you can plan for the professional level. If you're a professional, you can go for the higher level, expert and then master, and then you can get front-end certification JavaScript. It will add a lot of value to your profile, right? Companies will recognize you as a professional developer. But even getting the certification is enough to become a professional developer? Yes, it will add some value to your profile, but it is not entire part, right? you need something more. It is, I would say, certification is just a 50% of becoming a professional. You need something more. So what do we need more, right? So I will yeah, so the other part is your personal productivity. You need to improve yourself daily 1%, right? So if you improve it daily 1%, then at the end of the year you will improve 365. No, not 365, it will be beyond that, because compounding also applies to that, right? So you need to keep upgrading your personal productivity. So anyone can tell me how we can improve our personal productivity? What else we can do apart from these things? Can anyone tell? How can we improve our personal productivity? What can we do to improve it? Yeah. Right. Teaching means you will learn or retain information around 90%. Right? It is a very important point. Anything else? Yes. Keep learning. Lifelong learner. You need to become a lifelong learner. Right? Yeah. So I would like to ask this question: design patterns in Magento. What kind of design patterns do we have in Magento? Anyone? You can just speak it out. This is the very basic, right? So Magento is built around the design patterns. There are lots of design patterns, but what are those design patterns? The common ones? Yeah, dependency injection, event observer, yeah, front controller, and all those design patterns are there, right? How many of you know that there is an adapter pattern as well? So I'll explain what is adapter pattern. Adapter pattern is when we are using any third-party library in Magento, so we cannot directly use it. We need to build a wrapper class around it, and then we will use the wrapper class and we implement our functionality around it. So what will happen if there is any change in the third-party application? Then we just need to modify our adapter class, not the entire implementation. So it will reduce the maintainability of our code. So adapter pattern is used, and it is used in so Magento framework also uses this in you have seen JS and CSS minifier in the backend. So adapter pattern is used. So for CSS min library is used and adapter is created around it, and for JS shrink library is used. Same is applicable for the image. So image functionality, GD2 and image magic libraries are used, and adapters are created around it, and it is used in the Magento application, right? So how I also knew the basic design patterns, but how do I know this adapter pattern? Who taught me this? Any guesses? Yeah. So my own personal junior developer, ChatGPT. So I was searching for design patterns because I had to take an interview, and I thought that let me ask what are the design patterns available to the candidate. So I was searching on the ChatGPT, and I found many more design patterns are used in Magento, which I didn't know. So at that time I came to know the adapter pattern, and I learned about it. So you need to use ChatGPT effectively, right? But we have a question that ChatGPT doesn't work for Magento all the time. How many of you have this doubt or question that ChatGPT doesn't work for Magento and it doesn't give reply accurately for Magento, right? Yeah, it is because I think we are communicating with the application and not the real part. So we'll learn quickly how we can better interact with the ChatGPT. Okay, let's see how does it work in the background, how ChatGPT works. So I would like to explain a little bit about artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is teaching the computer to think, learn and solve problems like a human. What human intelligence does? The same thing, right? We think, we acquire knowledge, we think and process, and then we solve the problem as per the scenario. So artificial intelligence is the same thing for the computer. Okay, and then comes the picture. natural language processing. So natural language processing or NLP is the field in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a big picture and NLP is the part of it. So how NLP is related to ChatGPT? Let's learn that. NLP is the field in AI. NLP is where we teach the computer to understand and process human language. Like we are asking, tell me a story. So it is a human language we are asking to the ChatGPT. So and through NLP, it understands the and process the human language. NLP is used for that, and it understands human language, generates the response and reply back to you. That's how ChatGPT replies back. But ChatGPT is an application of NLP, right? Okay, so now how NLP does that? Understand, process and reply back. So it uses LLM, large language models. What are large language models? So large language model is all the data. So when we need to ask something, when we ask a person a question, then they reply back on based on their knowledge, right? So all the knowledge is stored in the LLM. So all the knowledge is placed in some place, and a model is built. So that model is called large language model, an AI model that is trained on a very large amount of data. So all the informations are fed in. You can think of it like a library of data or information which is fed in, or multiple articles and lots of newspaper articles and everything. So it has all the information with it. It is trained so that it can understand, process and generate text based on lots of data, right? So LLMs are used. So like this, LLM is there, and we have all the chat, audio, messages and emails and articles and books and everything. So it has lots and lots of data. Okay, and the GPT is generative pre-trained transformer. It is GPT. So think about it as a mechanism on how language model works. So how language model is there, but data is unused until we interact with it, right? So using GPT, generative pre-trained transformer is a mechanism to work with the LLMs. So how does it work? It simply predicts the next text. We are writing tell me a story, so it will predict a next text. What can be the next text based on the LLM, or based on the data which it has, right? And it gets the percentage words. So words are called token in terms of LLM language. So tokens are returned based on the prediction percentage. So whatever word or token has the highest percentage will be returned as a response. So that will get as a response in ChatGPT. So this is how generative pre-trained transformer GPT works. So here you can say large language model. So these are small models which has less than 100 billion parameters. And currently we are using ChatGPT 3.5 version. So it is here. It has 175 billion parameters. So on 175 billion parameters, you can search the text and it will respond you. Okay. And the ChatGPT 4, the plus version, it has 100,000 billion parameters. That's why it is able to give you the better result and accurate results, because it has more data, more information in it. So it is able to give you the accurate data. Like this, it is GPT is this. ChatGPT 4 has 100,000 billion parameters, and ChatGPT 5 will be. People are saying that it will be with infinite parameters. So it will be a very big picture, big scenario. Okay, so how to interact with ChatGPT? Now we have learned how ChatGPT works. So we don't need to interact with ChatGPT application, right? We need to interact with the LLMs. So how we can interact with the LLMs? Now we'll learn. So ChatGPT, so people interact with ChatGPT in 4 ways. Like first way is asking the question and getting the response. The second way is we search for the prompt on the Google and we modify the prompt word by word, and then we build our own prompt library. That is the second way. Third way is getting the plus GPT plus paid membership and get better results through GPT-4. So we'll get better result. And the fourth way is what we should do: interact with LLMs. So how do we interact with LLM? We need to do prompt engineering. So by doing this, you will be 10x productive. So we are talking about personal productivity, right? So we need to boost our personal productivity. So by using it effectively, this can boost your productivity by 10x. Okay, you can create automated workflows. You can automate development, writing, optimize debugging code, and many more things you can do. So there are 6 elements of the prompt. When we are writing the prompt, we need to consider these 6 elements so that your prompt will be much better. Your response will be much better from the ChatGPT. So these are the 6 elements. Not necessarily all of these elements will be included in the prompt, but these 3 are very important. These 2 are very important, and context. These 3 can be in or out of the prompt based on our requirements. So role is when we say that act as a Magento expert and give me this result. So we are assigning the role, right? So it has large amount of data and it is acting like our brain. So in our brain, Magento information is stored in a particular region, particular part, right? In the same way, in LLM, data related to Magento is stored in a particular place. So we need to assign it a role so that it just searches in the particular area of that LLM. So we are assigning the role, and then we instruct. So we are asking it, act as Magento expert and give me this result. So give me this result is the instruction we are giving it. So I'll show you the example, how does the prompt should look like. So this is the instruction. These are the input parameters. So we are giving it input, and this is the context. Please generate the following. So we are writing down in detail what we need from need as a response. So this is the context. It is specified, and we can specify the output format also. So in which format I need the output from ChatGPT. So here JSON is the format we have written, but we can get the data in table format or HTML format, whatever format. There are some different formats, XML format, and there are various formats in which we can get the data as a response. And we can provide it as example as well, in which JSON format we need the data. And we can give a sample object as well, and in same object it will return the data. There is another example. Here is okay. So the role is cut here as an experienced SEO researcher. So this is related to SEO. So we are giving the role, then instructions, and we are setting the context, and we are giving examples as well. Like we need response in this format. So it will return you all the information, all the results in the particular format which you require. Okay, so it is very powerful. You for learning this, you can go to Google and write OpenAI prompt engineering. You will get top 2 results. If you will do that, you can do it in the weekend itself, and from Monday morning you can start doing this thing, and it will give you much more better result, and it boosts your productivity. Okay. So ChatGPT is good, but we need more productivity, right? We need to become a professional developer. So only ChatGPT is not enough. We have to use some tools which are readily available and open source, which can boost immediately your productivity as soon as you install and start using it. So there are some 5 tools which I have listed down in the reverse order. So the number 5 tool is Magento coding standard. So whenever you write any custom code, you need to pass it through this repo. It is built by Magento, and it checks all the parameters of Magento coding standard. Okay. So your custom code should be must pass through this repo, and the error should be solved, not just pass. you need to get the report and solve the errors, and then you need to push it to the repository. So this is very important. You need to do this whenever before you push the code. Okay, it will look like this, Magento coding standard. You need to clone this repo as a global, and then whatever folder you need to review, then you need to pass it in the command line, and then it will generate the report for you. So the next one is, the number 4 is developer toolbar. Developer toolbar will be useful when you need to speed up your website, right? Speed optimization, profiling, query optimization, removing duplicate queries. So all those optimization things you can do easily with this tool. So I gave it number 4, and this all are available in the GitHub. So this is how the profiler looks like. It will give you the count and memory utilization. So based on that, you can optimize your code. You can find out which code is not optimized, and after finding it, you can solve the code and resolve the slowness of the pages on your website. Next is the N98 Mage Run 2. This is the number 3 tool, and it is a Swiss knife kind of thing. So there are lots of CLI commands available. We have our own CLI from Magento, Bean Magento, right? But Bean Magento doesn't have some features which this tool has. So you need to install this. You can install it on server as well if your DevOps give you the right access. Otherwise, you can definitely use it on your local and do much more things. So these are there are many commands, but these are my favorites. So you can check the cache report, cache view, remove cache entry. So if you need to remove any particular cache entry, then you can do it by this tool. It is a command line tool, so you can do everything by command line. You can set any value in env.php file. You can get customer information on the command line itself. You can change admin password. So whenever we forgot admin password, we can change it directly from the command line. You can run raw DB query, open MySQL console. You can dump database. The Stripe database dump, it is very important. Sometimes we get the database dump from the live site, right? It has all the live real-time customer data, order data. So if you need to strip it, you can easily do it with this tool. You can remove customers, orders, so that you can give the clean database to the new developer or developer who is not allowed to access all those information. So you can do it with strip database dump. You can run cron jobs, list observers. So you can, when you are debugging or working on the observers, you can get the list of observers, route, and interactive development console. So you don't need to write printf, printar command and then get the data. You can do it with interactive development console. You just need to write one line and it will give you the object in the response. So this is very powerful tool. Sorry. For the backend developer who loves to do development using command line. Okay, so the next tool is Cache Clean. This is the biggest tool for the front-end development. So what we do is, when we change any code in HTML, CSS, JS, then we run the setup static content deploy command, and then we wait for few minutes to get it complete. With this repo, this is created by Vinay Kup, who is available in this event. You can meet him, and he has built this amazing tool. So whenever you do the development for the front end, you just need to press Shift F, and all the files, all the changes will be reflected with just browser refresh. You don't need to run any setup static content deploy and anything. It is that powerful. So for the front end, okay. So these are the hotkeys. So there is the F, capital F is for front end. So entire front end will be refreshed and regenerated in the development mode. So now the number one debugging tool which we use is this Ecopre and Printar, right, to debug. And for front end we do console log. Do you think that this is the best debugging tool? No, but most of the developers use this, but this is definitely not the best debugging tool, and we should not use it. So what we should use? This one, number one best debugging tool for 10x productivity. This single tool will boost your productivity by 10x minimum. I guarantee that, because I have experienced that, and based on my experience I am saying that Xdebug should be there before you install your application. You should install Xdebug on the local setup. And how many of you think that Xdebug installation is very complex, that's why we are not using it and we are using printar? Any one of you think that Xdebug installation is very complex? Okay, so for you, I will at the last I will give you the email ID. So you can email on that email ID and just write that I need Xdebug help. So me or my team will help you set up Xdebug on your local environment so that you can use it. But you all must use Xdebug on your development, because it will definitely boost your 10x productivity. I guarantee that. And for the front end, don't use console log. Instead, go to the developer tools of Chrome, and then you can set up the debugger breakpoints. So this is the so for Xdebug you can email us. We'll help you set that. And for the front end, you can set it like this. So you can debug it like this instead of console log. Okay. So now you want to see how you will become after being a professional. Piano like this, not like this. Okay. And here is the scan code. You can scan it. I am writing this book, so I'll give you as a gift to you my signed copy. You can scan this QR, or you can write this link and you can do this. And for the Xdebug help, you can email me on this mmin2024@tpots.co. Then my team will be able to help you with the Xdebug or any other help you will need. Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for attending it.